We're going to get right into this interview real quick, but before I do, I want you guys to go down in the description below and look at all the links that I have down there, other ways to contact me and ways to support me. Also, if you'd like to click the subscribe button and the bell for notifications and hit that like so that I can get better feedback on YouTube videos. If you would really like this video, please share it on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you like to share your videos, and we'll get right into this. Hey there, Dee.
Hey, Karli.
So what are you riding in these days?
86 E350.
And what have you done to modify it?
It's got coilover hydraulic suspension, 40-inch Toyo Open Countries, and that's pretty much a nutshell of it. It's a Dana 70 inner axle with a Dana 60 outer.
Wow.
Pretty much indestructible anymore, for the most part anyway.
Yeah. And how long did it take you to do this?
All of it, say I've had a lot of help from a lot of different people with it. I just do it all my own, but it's a year.
A year? Yeah.
Something
Nice.
Like
That's cool. Well, let's go look inside.
Okay. A little tight, but
there is a ton of room in here.
for what it is, yeah.
And this is your kitchen.
Yeah, this is my kitchen. Got two sinks. I don't use the second one very much, ever. More or less just under storage of it and the cutting board. And then I gutted an in-bed camper. And took the water system out of it, and it's got running 25 gallons of running water and 5. There's a gray water tank underneath.
Yeah.
Here going into. It's empty. And there's a heating element on the side of it, and a lot of people are trying to figure out how to get hot water. And once you just get a tank, I got a plastic tank from a junkyard out of a slided bed camper for like 20 bucks, and I went to a hardware store and got, if you have solar and a battery bank or an inverter, like most of us do, you can get these for 10 bucks. They're a 1,000 watt normal hot water heater element you can replace in any hot water heater in a house. And just like you would if you could do any kind of plumbing fitting, you just cut a hole and mold it in the side, and I just plug it in when I want hot water, wait 20 minutes, and I've got hot water.
That's crazy. What, Boomer?
Boomer!
My bad.
Boomer could always come on.
Bow chicka bow bow. Alright, I'll leave you alone.
Alright, Boomer.
So, okay, it's got, is that switch there?
Yeah, I've got to mount it down a little better.
Okay, cool.
And I've got it plumbed underneath, and I left my hosing and stuff, but it runs up along the sides to the back to a curtain that swings around the back, and I have pressurized hot water whenever I want, and I left all that stuff back in Idaho.
Oh, okay.
So now we're just kind of sink bathing it and showering it outside, so.
Yeah.
But.
Baby wiping hobo.
And I have, yeah, baby wiping hobo, you know. I have the Harbor Freight 100 watt panel, and I know a lot of people are wondering how they do. Awesome.
Really?
They really do awesome. I got mine. It's just the 100 watt, 4 25 watt panels, and they actually put out more than that. I've seen this thing do 120.
Oh wow.
It's been a neat investment, but this is just a normal Igloo fridge and freezer, and it's iced, and when my steaks and everything stay frozen, it works great. But I wouldn't recommend running this and your phone and your laptop just off the 100 watt. And you don't need the isolator if you're pretty absent-minded, or not absent-minded, because I just took battery cables, long, big aught battery cables, and run them from the battery, cut a notch in the doghouse because you don't want anything rubbing, shorting out, and to a battery cutoff switch, which is like 20 bucks. And then when I want to idle my rig, if I start at 15 minutes in the morning, it's good for 12-15 hours. The solar takes care of it from there. But the alternator will charge up the 2,000 watt. It's a mess down underneath here. But I've got two Caterpillar 1,000 cold cranking amp, and I can't remember the amp hours on these. This runs everything with a 1,500 watt inverter. It runs the fridge. It runs pretty much everything that I need it to. And I tell everybody, if you want to charge your stuff on it, go ahead, because it doesn't bother it. And it'll let me know, it'll beep and all that stuff if it gets low and the solar's not keeping up on a cloudy day, and I just start the fan.
Okay.
And then you can shut the switch off if you don't want that to happen. So it's not sharing power front and rear.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it also makes it nice if you're in colder climates where your batteries are needing that cold cranking out, because I can split the switch and the back ones now feed the front to start the engine. So you jump start yourself.
That's awesome.
So it kind of keeps you self-efficient.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what a RV is set up to do, have coach and house batteries.
Kind of how I designed it.
Yeah.
If I'd have done this all again, I'd do it with a high top. Or I may end up putting a high top in this, but it'll make it almost about 13 foot 4 inches to the top.
Well, how tall is it right now?
I want to say I think it's 11.6 or 11.12. I'm not far from 12 foot.
Oh, wow.
From the top, with the tire on the top.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just say that's with the very high peak. I'm sure it's shorter than that. I can't remember, like 10 foot something. Anyway, it's big.
Yeah, it's really tall.
There's not much for drive-throughs. Drive-throughs are not much of an option with this vehicle.
No.
Stealth camping is not an option either.
No.
You just learn. People don't even give you crap when you try and stealth park, because you'll park somewhere and everybody wants to talk to you about the rig. You don't get in trouble or any of that. They just want to know about the rig.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets you out of a lot of trouble.
That's cool. Yeah, the give and take there. Mm-hmm. So your cooking station is a 2-burner propane stove.
Started out with a butane. Pain in the ass to find all the butane canisters, so I switched, and I like this. It's handy, but it's too much for a van, my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I never use a second burner, and I cook steak. I've cooked everything. Anybody else in the house.
One-pan meals.
One-pan meals, and you can do it too, but it just becomes too much, because there's not a lot of space in these things, and I lose half my counter space because of it. So I'm going to end up going to a single burner if I can find one.
Oh, they're out. They're out.
Yeah, they're out. You just got to find them. But I try to reuse, reclaim. A lot of this van is reuse, reclaim. So.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And it does. I found this on Let Go, and it's one of those fill up top, and you just pump it when you want to use the toilet.
Yeah, the flush. Yeah.
And it separates in the bottom and all that fun, happy stuff. And I've never used it. I try not to, but if you do, it's basically designed to put it right where I'm sitting now, and you can pull down the Reflectix and have privacy and all that. But I relatively try not to do that, because I don't really want to clean it.
Yeah, exactly. I had a bigger version of that same thing, and I got rid of it because I didn't want to have to go deal with it at the RV dumps. So
pretty much, the little instructions tell you to dump it in a toilet, and I'm going, if I had the toilet option, I wouldn't be worrying about this thing. So
exactly. Well, and that's a fucking mess to go dump it in a toilet.
God, I know.
It's disgusting, no matter which way you deal with it.
So I figure if I was going to, I was just gonna, because you can lift this inner seat, and I was just gonna put like a bag with some wood chips in there, and then that way you can do that and just pull it out, and like everybody else would with a bucket. It's a fancy bucket. It's a fancy.
It is. It is a fancy bucket.
All it is a fancy bucket.
And you have a flushing mechanism.
Yeah, I have a flushing mechanism and all that fun stuff. So all it does is separates it, but it's a fancy bucket.
Yeah, and the buckets are kind of nicer to deal with because it goes in a plastic bag.
No, it's not bang or like that close to you.
Okay, so as far as you've got a little buddy heater.
Yep, I've got a buddy heater, and it runs. I've plumbed the line. I took a milk crate. A lot of this stuff is, I see so many YouTube videos, and everybody has really awesome ideas, but you almost stress yourself out to simplify it. I took a milk crate, took some L brackets that are $1.50 a piece, and put 3 of them underneath it, and then screwed the milk crate to the back of my van with self-tappers, and then the L brackets to it, and it holds a full propane tank. And this van it's like a buckboard. It rides rough.
Yeah.
And I've never even worried about it. And if I'm in mobile or whatever, and I'll just switch it out. I put my steps. I can take my steps off, and they accordion down to less than the size of a propane tank, and I put them in that basket. And I'll put the propane tank in here if I'm that worried about it. But other than that way it's out of the way. Otherwise, this gets really clustered quick.
Nice.
But yeah, the Mr. Buddy on low, I've heard good, bad reviews about it, and it's so far, I'll bet the last 15, 16 days I've used that, I went and filled it. It was like 2.5 gallons. And you'll wake up in the middle of the night on low because it's too hot.
Yes.
I've over insulated this.
It's a small space anyways.
Yeah, however you throw it, they're not expensive to run. So if anybody's curious about Mr. Buddy, my personal opinion, best investment I've made as far as the cold. And I do not like the cold. So
yeah.
I turn that thing on, even if it's anything below 50, I'll kick it on.
Yeah.
Easily.
That's true. Well, is this your food cabinet?
Regular food cabinet, stuff like that.
Okay.
Pretty much a mess, much like most of us guys' vans.
Oh yeah, well.
Yeah, just storage.
I have a food bin.
Food bin, stuff like that.
Nice.
The floor layer of Flectix. Really neat dude built the floor, actually. I did not do that. And it's Reflectix, plywood, another layer of Flectix, another layer of plywood, and then this is a slip sheet. What? Because I'm an ex-truck driver, so what they do when they have produce and stuff, they'll put, or potatoes, they'll put on a pallet, which everybody knows those. They put this plastic, thick plastic, and then the produce on top of it, and they just pull. This plastic will hold 2,000 pounds of pulling on the end of it, and it's really thick. So I thought that would be an awesome floor. So I just asked one of the places I went to, can I have a couple of those? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And I stapled it to the floor, and it's easy cleanup. Things spill on it all the time. You can go to the beach, sand gets on it, and just right back out.
Yeah, no,
Makes
it's
it
great.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Very simple and repurposed.
Yeah, everything's pretty much repurposed, and I don't have much money in the build. All this was, like I say, reclaimed out of a slide-in bed camper. The sink, the system, all that fun stuff.
And the bed, is that...
It's a Serta. They will fit in an Econoline, believe it or not.
Oh, it's just a mattress.
It is just a mattress, but they...
Is it on your wheel wells?
No, again, that was not built by me. A really neat dude built that.
Awesome.
Quite ingenious. Just lifted it up just enough to go, high enough to go above it. Sorry.
No, it's
Things
okay.
are a mess.
The L brackets.
Yeah, and then more of the L brackets to keep it structured. And anyway, it lifts it up, and you'll find that they, in the Econolines, they will kind of do a U shape on the bed. So this side I pushed down, this side I took a strip of plastic and took self-tappers on the seam of the mattress and screwed it into the wall, so now it's down. After you shove it down and screw it in, and it's done.
Nice.
I mean, it's not like you're, I mean, how often do you replace a mattress? About as much as I'll replace the van, I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah, they'll
So,
last a while.
In reality, I figured I'll just screw the damn thing down and they will go flat. It's comfortable, so you don't have to worry about an expensive mattress. I bought that one. It was used from a friend of mine for like 50 bucks. And they didn't have it very long, and they will fit. That's a full.
Okay, that's a full-size bed. Nice.
It's full-size bed.
Well, I'm gonna go look around the outside of your rig at that milk crate.
Oh yeah, go ahead. But I didn't even want to drill a hole in my window. So when I'm moving, I mean, I'm not running propane down the road, so I just unhook it, push the propane in, and it is very on, and it doesn't seem to have a problem. And I do a lot of repairs, and when you have a rig like this, you do a lot of repairs. So I found that I didn't have the inner door panels on this, and I was going to get them, and decided I found places for extra fluids.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
This is all pretty much both sides, which that side's got all kinds of crap on it, so I don't really want to open it. But
no,
it's
that's fine.
just slide out toolboxes, so I have full tools. The next one will be onboard air.
Onboard air?
Onboard air, so I can air up my own tires or run air tools and stuff like that.
Okay.
I've got everything to do it. I just didn't have time for the RTR to do it. But I've got 17-gallon tanks that are portables from Harbor Freight. Everything's Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
go underneath it, and the Harbor Freight 150 PSI dual compressors. It's like a $200 system for the whole thing, and I have 17 gallons of onboard air, and I can run most air tools.
Okay.
What I would do.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, everything else, the things that won't, like impacts and stuff, I have electric impacts anyways.
Yeah, battery powered.
Battery powered, so it's pretty well, the van is mostly self-contained.
That's awesome.
Can't say fully, but mostly. That's pretty much the van.
Well, this is great. And what's up on, what's on top?
Oh, high lift jack that is pretty much useless with the coilovers. In fact, I had to have a tire rotation in St. George, Utah, and they had to use forklifts to get it up.
Oh my
They
God.
lifted up both ends of the van and didn't rotate the tires that way because we just couldn't get it off the ground. My high lift won't do it, so it's pretty much just for looks now until I figure out a different system.
Oh,
I gotta
no.
strap the chain the axle to the frame so that when it picks it up, it's gonna pick up. And then I use it as a deck to sit up.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a deck.
And I've got my generator and extra generator gas can and everything up there.
And 2 ladders to get up.
Yeah, the ladder came off of a Class C.
Okay.
And I just kind of cut it to fit. And then the Harbor Freight solar.
And oh, your front winch. Why do you have a winch?
Oh, it's a 12,000 pound Badland Harbor Freight. I just have it just in case. I say when everybody else was out here stuck, me and Lalo were moving around just fine with the full drives. But just in case you got 100 foot of cable, you can pull somebody out or
Okay.
pull yourself out. It would take a D9 cat to pull this damn thing out, but if it ever got stuck, but yeah, it's just helpful.
Yes. How much does it weigh? Have you weighed it yet?
With everything in it, I think it was like 92. It's been a month or so ago. It was like 9,200.
9,200.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like 4.5 tons. But it's got this IDI diesel, Ford's 6.9 liter IDI diesel in it, and it's non-turboed yet.
Okay.
But it does about like a normal van loaded down that's a gas engine, but it gets 12, as long as, even in headwind, 12.8 to 13.1 seems to be its average miles per gallon, as big as it is.
12.8 to 13?
12, yeah, about
okay.
13 miles a gallon is
13
what
miles. That's good. This is super cool.
Thank you, Karli.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for showing.
You even got the Karli sticker.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta have a Karli sticker. If you don't have one of those, you're just not a badass.
Yes. Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. Okay, well, thank you so much for showing me your rig.
No problem.
Okay.
Anytime. Thank you, Karli.
So, Dee, you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel.
Uh-huh.
And where would we find that?
It's going to be, if it doesn't change, it's going to be Dee Koonz, Deekunz. And I think the category on it is Monster Vanlife.
Monster Vanlife. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what we got it set up as, but I mean, it'll be mechanics and van lifing, off-roading, just kind of and I love the beach, so it'll be a lot of those things.
Thank you everyone so much for watching this awesome interview I got with Dee and his monster van. And if you want to check him out some more, go check out his channel. I'll talk to you guys later.